Hey, Lise here, and in this video, I really just wanted to walk through segmenting based on your email list to help increase your open and click rates during a launch or a promotion. At the end of the day, kind of one and the same. Now, the reason I want to walk you through this is because when you start to build an email list and when you start to build out your offer suite, you don't need to present everything to everyone in your world. And so we want to go through and make sure that we are segmenting because this will also increase your open and click rates because the larger your email list gets, the lower your open rate and click rate become because there's just no way that you can get 100% deliverability of every single email. So the more that you segment down. So the smaller your segments are, the more targeted you are, the higher your open and click rates will be for that specific segment. Now, if you're wondering what the heck I'm talking about, I'm going to walk you through this anyway, but I just wanted to kind of set that tone because we always want to put our best foot forward. And so, because we are in the process of opening doors for TCM, I wanted to walk you through how I've actually done this for this particular launch or this particular promotion. Because at the end of the day, once an offer has already been presented previously, it's no longer really a launch, it's a promotion. So this promotion it does a couple of different things, and you have to really understand what it is that you're promoting first. And then you want to reverse engineer and probably give yourself a solid 6 weeks to build out your segments if you haven't already done that. So I'm going to talk about how you build your segments first. So let's go and do that. So I'm going to show you inside Kit. Now I'm going to hide email addresses as much as I can. So bear with me while I set that up, and then we will go through and walk through how you can set up your segments based on different elements and how you then track all of that moving forward. Okay, so we are now inside Kit, and I know that you can't see all the things. It's just because I personally really like to protect people's privacy. But when you're in Kit, we are looking at the subscriber area. And when you scroll down, you will see on the right-hand side, you have two different components, segments, which are based on a whole bunch of different things. And then you have tags. Now, the difference between these two is simply a tag can be applied to anything based on a specific trigger taking place, right? So that's how the tags come about is someone gets applied to a tag when they take a certain action or a certain action has been triggered. That's probably the best way to explain that. Whereas a segment is based on lots of different elements. So it can be a combination of tags, forms, sequences, an action based on a date someone's joined. Like there's lots of different things that you can do for that. So you can see here that I've got lots of segments in place. There's probably some that I need to delete, but I like to keep all the things. I'm definitely a hoarder. Not so great for traveling, which we're going to be doing for the next 2 years in January next year. So I've got to figure that component out. But when it comes to inside Kit, I personally want all the data that I can, so I don't delete anything. Now, this can slow down your Kit a little bit, but I have a powerful computer and a really good internet connection, so that doesn't seem to impact it. So, for the purposes of this training, we're focusing on our TCM interest list, right? So you can see here that there are 1,045 subscribers that are in this list. This is a big chunk of people. Now, this interest list has been added to over time. So if you were doing this for yourself, you're probably going to want to think about how do I want to build out this particular interest list for this offer, right? So this is based on the offer. So the Cultivate membership, TCM for short, that is based on a lot of different things. So we're going to go in and have a look at this particular segment so you can see how that is built out. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to take a screenshot of it and put it in the other documents so that we can't see everybody's email addresses. Okay, so once you click on the segment, what it does is open it into the same window. So you're still in the subscriber window, and then all the subscribers that are in that segment show below. So you can see here it's got TCM interest list, and then subscriber, and then all the email addresses are below. Now I clicked on edit. So right beside where it says TCM interest list, edit, and just follow my arrow on the screen. And then this is what you can see. Now it's actually saying 1,055 subscribers. So sometimes you will find that your segments are slightly off. And this is updating because people are still being added to this as we speak. Now, you can see here that I've done a couple of different things. So I have got matching any of the following. Now it's really important, particularly when you're using Kit, that you make sure that when you are selecting the tags and forms and all of those things that you're wanting to connect to, that you choose any. Because if you have it set to all, then it means that everybody has to have all of these options. And I'll show you what happens if you do that. So if I click all, then it means that there's only 3 subscribers that have all of these tags applied. So you just want to make sure that, if you're looking at your segment and you're thinking, wow, that's really small, switch it to any, and you'll see that it literally pulls everybody in. Now you can see here that I have tracked a lot of different things. Now TCM has gone through 3 name changes in the last 3 years. So it initially started out as DBL Premium, then it went to DIA, and now it's TCM. So I have tracked all of those things. So these are based on tags. And then there is also a form option here as well that I've included. So you can see here, this determines a tag and this determines a form. And then down here, I'm also making sure that I'm excluding current TCM members, which is another segment. So that's how this has been built out. But let's talk about these tags. So you can see here that I have got cancelled DBL or DIA membership. So that is based on previous members. So I'm adding them into that mix because they were clearly interested at one point. So I'm adding them back into that. Now then, I have got a lot of click tags. Now these click tags are based on whenever I send an email out, so my daily email, for example, if someone clicks on anything that goes to a sales page, then I'm tracking that. So that's an action. So you can see here, we've got click, cultivate, evergreen sales page, and there's a whole bunch of different sales pages in here. So that's predominantly what these are made up of. Plus, there are a couple of wait lists that are added in here, and there's also the human design interest, because the human design component is a big part of TCM. So I want to make sure that those people are added into that. And then there's also the TCM waitlist opt-in that I just wanted to make sure I captured. So that's how you go ahead and just make sure that you're adding in all of your segments. So you create a segment based on your offer, and then you determine which tags, forms, sequences you want to add into the mix. Now, I predominantly use tags mainly, right? That's predominantly how everything I do inside Kit is done. Anyone that's added to a sequence is typically added to a sequence through an automation that is triggered based on a tag. So that's why I've got the tags in here. I could come in here and add a whole bunch of sequences, but honestly, I don't need to. So that's the first step in this entire process, is building your segment. So we've done that. So the next thing that we need to do is determine our baseline numbers, right? So in order to understand whether we're actually going to be able to increase open and click rates, we need to know what our baseline number is based on our regular emails that we send out. So to do that, you are just going to come up into send, and you're going to go and look at your broadcasts, but you can also look at your sequences as well. Sequences will be a lot better because they're a little bit more targeted. But in order to determine kind of your baseline, what you're going to do is, these numbers here are not 100% accurate. I'm going to talk you through how you work this out. So the first thing that you want to do in terms of your open rate is, this is typically, so you can see here, there's lots of different numbers in here. And again, it really just depends. But you can see here that on different segments, I have much higher open rates. You can see here, I already started segmenting, and you can see here that it's a 45.6% open rate. Conversely, compared with kind of my daily email community, which sits around 40% on average. It just takes time. This email has only gone out today. So when you're trying to determine yours, what you want to do is based on a 30-day period, you want to go and have a look at each of your open rates. You're going to go back through and you're just going to go through each email that you sent out over the last 30 days based on your regular email, right? So that's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about your sequences, launches, anything like that, just your normal regular email newsletter, whatever you're calling it. So you want to get all of your open rates and then you want to get the average. So you're just going to go through and grab all the open rates, then get the average. And then in terms of your click rate, you need to actually open this up to be able to determine this because it's largely going to depend on the click to open rate. So let me just move this over here. So you can see here that it gives you clicks and it says click to delivery rate, click to open rate. So the click to open rate is what you really want. Now, if your particular email platform doesn't give you these two different options, then this is how you can work it out for yourself. So basically you want the click to open rate. That's the most important because click to delivery means nothing. It just means that the total number of people who received the email, the 13% clicked versus the people who actually opened, which is more important, 25% clicked. So that's why we want to know that. So what you want to be able to do is work it out for yourself. So go and look at each of your click rate. So if you've got that there for each of those individual emails, if you can't see the click to open rate, what you're going to do is you're going to go and look at your number of emails sent, and then you're going to look at the open rate for each of those emails. And then based on the open rate, you can then figure out what the click rate is actually going to be based on opens, not the total number. So the formula that you're looking for is this. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your open rate and then you're going to take the number of clicks and you're going to divide that. So you're going to basically go, okay, this many people opened it. So if you did 4,885 times 32.7%, so then you can get the actual number. And then based on that number, you're going to go 19 divided by whatever number that is times 100, and then that will give you a much more accurate open rate. So that's how you figure that out. So you want to go through and do that for all of your particular options when you're going through so you understand what your baseline numbers are so that you can actually determine whether your open rates and click rates are improving or decreasing during your actual promotion window. So once you've done that, then you want to figure out how you're going to handle segments during this process. And what I mean by that is, what are you going to do with the people who are in your normal regular newsletter who aren't on your interest list? That's the first step. Then the second step is you also want to ensure that you're excluding or giving people the option to opt out of any type of promotion. So you can see here that I have got TCM interest list excluding opt-outs. And then I've also got the ones that have opted out, right? Opt-out TCM promotion. So for me personally, I am going to be balancing 3 segments. And the reason for that is because for the daily email community, I'm excluding the TCM interest list. Now, the people who chose to opt out or choose to opt out of the TCM promotion window throughout this entire period, they are still in the TCM interest list, right? I don't want them removed from that. So that means that I need to ensure that because they won't get this daily email if they're excluded in the TCM interest list. Hopefully that makes sense. So then I'm going to then handle them a little bit differently. So 3 different emails are going out. However, these 2 here are the same. I don't need to create anything different for the people who have chosen to opt out, because at the end of the day, they're still part of my daily email community. I just need to handle making sure that they get the email. Otherwise, you could land yourself in a situation where they don't receive anything from you for a big chunk of time, depending on your actual promotion window. So basically, what you will end up having is emails that are sales in nature, right? The nurture and sales framework is what I use for my emails. And what I mean by that is when I'm selling, I'm also nurturing. So I'm not being icky or anything like that. Although typically the first email that goes out in a promotion is typically a very direct, doors are open, here's this thing, go and grab it, right? That's normal. But then the rest of your emails are going to be based on the nurture and sell framework, which you're going to see over the next few days anyway. So hopefully that gives you an understanding of how to go about doing this. And I have seen my open rates and click rates just increase every single time I do a very specific segment. Now, the only last segment that I wanted to touch on is that as you get closer to your promotion deadline finishing, you will want to also segment based on someone clicking. So from that point forward, what I will do is typically the last 2 days of a promotion window, I will then start to segment even from there. So we've got the interest segment already, but now I'm also going to segment based on anyone that clicks, and they're going to get a different email compared to just the normal interest. So you start to segment and you just start to really be speaking to the people who are raising their hand and saying, yes, I want more information. And then you get to really tailor that information. So typically I am going to do probably more video for the people who have clicked on the sales page but haven't bought, right? So that's how that works. And you also want to ensure that as soon as someone does buy, you want to exclude them from receiving any additional emails. Now that's taken care of here because I have the TCM current member list. So as soon as someone purchases, they get added to the TCM current member segment. And because that's been excluded inside the TCM interest list, there's nothing that I need to do there. So you can really set this up so that you're not having to do too much switching around and managing, but it really comes down to build your segments first. So whether you're sending emails out and you're applying a tag that is going to build out your interest list, you want to make sure that you know what your baseline numbers are going to be. And then you want to think about how you're going to handle your segments during your launch or promotion. So I hope you found this helpful. I hope that you go and implement this. Otherwise, I will chat with you soon. Take care.